Good early morning and happy St. Patrick's Day. It is Sunday morning, March 17th, 2019. I haven't tied a fly in a little while, and I thought, what a great day to tie a fly. So this fly is going to have kind of three meanings. I've been doing some flies that were tributes to people's birthdays, and so I thought that I would do a fly that was for my two nieces. Rachel, who had her birthday on the 15th, and 2 days ago, and Megan, whose birthday will be on the 26th of this month. So they are, the reason it's significant in March, besides their birthdays being in March, is they are Irish twins. So right now they are the same age. Their birthdays overlap. So I'm going to tie a fly for each of them. The flies that I'm going to tie are called the Bibio and the hand brush, and these are both traditional or popular Irish flies that are used in Ireland. And then on top of it being for their birthdays, it's also because they're Irish twins and all that. It's St. Patrick's Day, and I'm a Patrick, so I thought that I would go ahead and do a fly on St. Patrick's Day. So let me switch it around. I see my mom's watching. I am awake, although I shouldn't be because I have a concert today. But I was messing around and wanted to tie a fly. And I got a nap when we were watching TV. So I'm going to turn this around and get started. I don't want this to be long of a video. So let me get this set up the way I need it to be. Get zoomed in and focused and all that. Good morning, Mom. Zoom in a little bit more. If it'll let me. There we go. So I'm going to start off with the Bibio. And the Bibio is a black and red fly. I've already got my materials set up here, so I'm just going to get started real quick. Again, I'm using my normal Eagle Claw pack of flies. Or pack of hooks, sorry. Hooks are hooks to me. Every now and then you need a special one for something, but usually as long as it's got a place to tie onto the string and a sharp point, then you can catch fish with it. And once you tie the feathers on, it don't matter what it looks like, because it'll start looking... Thanks, Mom. I'm kind of a goof. I'm wearing all my green. I put on my big hat. I've got my McPatrick shirt on, my horseshoe pigeon shirt. So these flies, neither of these flies have a tail. Okay, this is kind of awkward to tie with this setup, but we'll make it happen. Okay. All right, so the first thing I need to tie in is so this is the Bibio. It's black and red. It uses a piece of wire. Sorry for the shakiness. Make sure that doesn't get in the way of the eye down there. It's a real easy looking fly. This is a bait holder hook, so I've depressed the barb, and then the two barbs that are on the top that hold the bait, I've flattened them down so they won't break my string. Just the way I tie them. And I've got some red tying thread. It's just one piece here. This is going to tie in next. And when you tie in thread to use, you just tie it in like any other material, and then you wrap it the way you wrap any other material, and then you can actually tie in the thread attached to the bobber still. But this thread was just a cut piece, so I wasn't too worried about making it be on a bobber. I'm just making extra turns there to keep it rough so that things stick better. And then a black feather. This is not any kind of special feather. In In fact, I don't even know what it's from, but it's it's a pretty small feather, but this just needs like one round of feather going up. So I've already ripped the barbs off of one side so that it'll lay more flat. And I'm going to tie this in here. I want to make sure that I tie it so that it'll wrap good. Press this down and tie it down onto the hook so that it isn't too bulky. So I'll do loose wraps coming up so that it doesn't cover up the red, but so I'll start with my red. So I've got my thread here at the front so I can tie off whatever I tie in. I'm going to start here. I'm just going to go with touching turns. While I'm doing this, I'll tell you a little bit about Megan and Rachel. So they are my two oldest nieces. They were born when I was in, I think I was in 6th grade, maybe 5th and 6th grade or something like that. It was a long time ago, but I do remember one of them was born on a day that I had a choir concert, and the day that I went to see them, whichever one it was, I think it was Megan. I was still in my choir outfit. Parkview Cowboys, the green and gold, although our choir outfits were green and white. Green corduroy pants, white golf shirt or polo. So all I'm doing here is just covering this whole thing with this thread. And I may come back after this and put a little bit of fingernail polish on it just to keep these wraps from pushing apart and exposing the black. This would be faster if I had a bobbin, but it's okay. That's enough right there. I'll go back forward a little bit and cross these. And that'll tie that in. Be careful not to cut my bobbin thread, the black thread. I've done that before, and you just have to go back and tie it in and fix it. Just want to avoid that. Okay, so I got that there. I'm going to take a feather, my hackle, as you call it. Use my hackle plier. Grab it there and try not to break it. So the wire is going to go on over the feather, and it'll help strengthen it. So even if it breaks, it'll still stay on and stay in place. So I'm just going to take loose wraps here. This is the biggest black feather that I have, and it looks a little bit different than it should on the fly, but I'm not too worried about it because this is a popular fly in Ireland, and while I am going to Ireland this summer, I probably won't fish, although that would be amazing. So I'm going to back this off and re-wrap it so that I have more at the head of the thing. I'm going to have bigger gaps on there. So I'll just go wider right there. turns out of that. Go over. Just grab that right there. Just get it right behind my plier. And I think I can release this plier. Still a pretty good stump there. I need to cut that off. Okay. Take a couple of wraps to smooth that over. Start building up the head. Okay. And then I'm going to go opposite way with this, opposite way of the hackle. Oh yeah, the guy that ties these that I saw, he puts 3 or 4 wraps at the butt to bulk up the back, give it a little bit of extra shine. Now he also uses a thicker gauge of wire than I have. It's okay. I don't think the fish care what gauge of wire it is. That is not always true of fish, by the way. Sometimes they are more picky about the way things look. You can be fishing a fly that has green wire and they won't touch it, and then you can switch to one that the same fly made with a red wire and they'll tear it up. Just depends on the fish and what they're eating. So what I'm doing is zigzagging this through the hackles so that I'm trying not to tie down any of these barbs, the feather barbs. I'm trying to move them so that they'll pop out and not get stuck. Because you don't want to work all that time to get all your barbs, get the feather the way you need it, and then not have any barbs after you tie it off because you covered them all up. So I'm going to pull this way, tie it down to the hook shank like that, and then go back over, fold it back. I'll make the head a little bit more bulky and make that wire a little bit stronger. And I just want to make sure I cover all that wire with thread. Just get several turns and get a good looking head on here, or a decent looking head. And this wire's thin enough you can just twist like this and it'll pop off. You don't have to cut it and mess up your scissors. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to take this whip finish. Let's see, I put a half hitch in there first to tie it down. And I'm going to whip finish it. I need a new whip finisher. I think I got this one at Academy or something, and it's really junk. This wheel, it's got a rough spot on it right there. And it sticks when it turns, so it doesn't make for a very smooth whip finish. Cut my thread. And get my clear nail polish. Pull this back so it doesn't get on the feathers. Hit the thread with some nail polish. A lot of people use super glue for that. I find that nail polish works just fine. In fact, whenever I go to use or go to reuse old flies, it takes me quite a while to cut through this stuff and get it off the hook to reuse the hook. So I think it works pretty good for keeping it. This part never comes untied, I'll put it that way. I have hackles break, I have wire break, I have pieces break off of it, but that never comes untied. Okay, so that's the Bibio. B-I-B-I-O. It's a pretty cool looking fly. And then